Hi, my name is Rachel. If you're new here, of course. And welcome to my 5BC spoiler boss no hit, as well as just a little analysis of my footage to sort of show what I did. Because this fight honestly took quite a while. And I would like to kind of help maybe a few people who are going in. As you can see down here, I don't exactly have a whole lot of stats, because this originally wasn't going to be a no-hit, and I don't tend to play pure damage. I'm actually planning on making a whole video on it, but normally I tend to split my stats so I have more HP and then less damage because I like my fights to last longer. Normally fights end up lasting around 2.5 minutes, maybe less if it's a fight I'm particularly good at, or if it's a fight that I'm if it's a fight that I'm particularly good at, or if it's a fight that I that I just have a good build for. This fight took 3.5 minutes, more or less. The actual footage is 5 minutes, but that's due to a whole bunch of other stuff. It's a long fight, it's a long endurance fight, and I would like to go through and I would like to kind of explain how I dodged these attacks and how I got through this fight with what people would consider very low DPS. So we're gonna get right into it. I'm actually gonna show you guys the full uncut thing first, so you guys can quickly sit there, watch that, and then we will sit here and analyze it. right, now that you're back, I can go into my analysis of all of this. I should probably have said this is obviously all completely off the cuff, all like unscripted. I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to do this, especially because this is, again, such a difficult boss. And you know what? Might even help me in the future. I'm literally recording this about 5 minutes after beating the after beating the 5BC spoiler boss, which I'm not sure if I already said it, is the Collector, also known, also just known as Spoiler. I'm just gonna call him the Collector and maybe Spoiler. But yeah, usually outside of these kinds of discussions, you normally just want to say Spoiler or the 5BC spoiler boss, because, you know, this community is really great, and where they don't tend to like to spoil stuff, even though this game's been out for years and years. It's great. It's awesome. But yeah. So we're gonna get right into it. So I start up. I should also have said I'm playing on custom mode, or not custom mode, I'm playing on assist mode. If it wasn't obvious, this fight took like 5 hours to do. Don't judge me for having like a 5 hour run, probably like 5 hours to, via assist mode. So obviously I spawn in, I show my build. You can see Legendary Star Fury. I have an ice shield in the back, spike shield for parrying, and electrodynamics, which is actually very interesting. Originally that was barricade, because this was primarily a parry build. It still is. And I'm going to get into it when we get to that part in the video, why I'm on electrodynamics and not barricade. Because if you didn't know, I believe in 3.5, they made it so that barricade deals double parry damage when you parry like melee attacks. Basically anything that will give you the extra HP. So I go in and I immediately use and then pop ice armor. If you hadn't noticed, there was only one electric orb. And I don't want that. I want to have all three. I want to have all three electrical orbs. So use it, pop it, there we go. That gives me all three orbs, because the timer still ticks down while you're in the cutscene with the Collector. So we go ahead, we talk to him. He takes all of our cells because he's a dick. I mean, he's actually like a significantly better person than our character, but still. Time for your medicine. Okay, I made a mistake here. I might show it on screen. I made a mistake here. Throughout all of my times of attempts, I actually would sit here for a few seconds, and I would specifically wait to hear the sound of ice armor recharging. It was too risky to not do that. But unfortunately, I forgot to do that in this attempt, which is great because this was the winning attempt. Okay, so yeah. And we even started off with the bat attack. This is the one attack I find very difficult. Not for that ground slam, but as you're going to see, a lot of orbs from the sky. I have Armadillo Pack specifically for this purpose, but it can be quite difficult to dodge. I would recommend bringing Armadillo Pack or something to dodge this if you're going for a no-hit. Though obviously you'll probably just have higher damage anyway. Oh, did not mean to mute. I accidentally went back to the beginning. Awesome. There we go. Yeah. And then, okay, now he's gonna wind back up. You can see how he winds back. He jumps. Usually he'll jump back and then he'll wind. This is his stab. He'll do anywhere from 3 to 5 stabs. Not sure exactly what determines it, but this attack is actually, funnily enough, the reason why I switched to electrodynamics. Because you might be thinking, this is an easy parry opportunity. That's a lot of parrying, and if I weren't going for a no-hit, that's a bunch of extra health. Specifically for Barricade, I haven't checked other on-parry effects like Rampart and whatnot, but it works with affixes. This doesn't count as a melee parry. It doesn't do the double parry damage, and you don't get the extra bonus health. So this would be, this and one other attack, the Spin to Win, are basically the only opportunities to get what could be considered a melee parry. and I would need to check the spin to win again, but as far as I know, both of them don't count as melee parries for the purposes of barricade. Barricade is useless in this fight, which sucks because barricade is honestly my favorite of the 4 diverse deck sets after I learned it does double parry damage. I love doing parry builds with it. It's great. It's awesome. Highly recommended if you haven't tried it, especially if you run a very HP heavy build like I am. Oh my god. Anyways, continuing on. Yeah, you can see doing the stabs. I tend to parry. You saw me do another parry right there because I always act like he's gonna do a full 5 parries. Because if I don't, I've actually had multiple runs where I try to call it and I don't get it right. Anyways, I start attacking, obviously. Yeah. And this is the spin to win. Very easy attack. Even if you don't try to parry it, you can just roll through him over and over again. And he basically can't hit you. This is by far his easiest. Attack to dodge. I literally only got hit by it like once or twice. Yeah, just do a quick parry. And you might be also noticing I'm not using ice armor yet. Why is that? Because it's not legendary. If it was legendary, I would have ice armor on. Unfortunately, since I don't have legendary ice armor, my ice armor is limited to 8 seconds. I have really 2 very specific attacks. The one that I've dubbed Rocks Fall, Everyone Dies, which is the first attack he did in the fight where he jumped on the where he slammed to the ground and a bunch of orbs fell. And the other one is the laser attack we're going to see in his ranged phase. Basically, the collector cycles through 3 different phases, each of them getting harder and harder each time you cycle back to it. There is the melee phase, which is what we're in right now, which is funny because none of these attacks are considered melee. There is the ads phase, which comes second, and then there's the ranged phase, and those repeat until you hit the finale of the fight. Yeah. Oh. That was a bit of a bit crunch. This is also pretty bad. You're thinking, because like this is his transition, right? In most of my attempts, I try to get him to drink his first flask. The collector will drink his flask 4 times. The 4th one being in the finale. But for the first 3 times, he's completely shielded and you can't hit him. I want to do those. I want to try to do that, ideally, in this first phase, and then usually in the ranged phase, or very early in the second melee phase. Because if I do it in the ads phase, as you're gonna see, there is a time where he will stand still, and when you attack him and get him to drink his flask, it skips that. So I deal a lot less damage overall if I do that. Anyways, this is the ads phase. Enemies will spawn out of the doors. They're very basic the first time around and they slowly get more and more complex, but there's really not much to this phase. See, he drinks his potion and I'm trying to stay on the right side. I'm trying to specifically stay on the right side of him. This is specifically because of affixes that I have in my weapon. If you didn't notice, my weapon gets plus 30% damage to hits in the back. So I want to try to hit him in the back as much as possible. I'm currently facing him in the front, but he always stays in the same orientation when you switch phases. So in the ranged phase, he has a lot of attacks that are much more comfortable to dodge if you have a lot of space. And with the way that he spawns more towards the right. So if I'm on the right side of him during this, he'll be on the left side with his back facing he'll have his back facing towards me when we spawn into the ranged phase, allowing me to wail on him and get that extra damage without risking being in a more cramped space. Okay. Let him do that. And teleports. Now this is the ranged phase. This first attack is his wall. This wall attack is a bit weirder to dodge with rolling, but it's still relatively manageable if you notice it fast enough. But basically he shoots, just like the stabs, 3 to 5. But this time he shoots out screen-wide walls. You have to either roll through them, or what I did, I would parry them. A lot of the times I would parry the first one. I'm not sure, it was very fast. But I parried the first one with Armadillo Pack. because Armadillo Pack, of course, has my ice shield in it. Freezing him, giving me enough time to quickly walk away to give myself a little bit of distance. So I kind of try to get to around this middle spot right here where I am right now. Because it launches you a bit farther away when you parry it. So I don't want to get myself launched into the spikes by doing this. Parry, parry. What? Oh yeah, no, he did 3 times. And now this attack is his orbs. He will rain down 3 to 5 orbs on you, I believe. I think I've seen it. It might do 6 once or twice. I don't remember this attack nearly enough. Because honestly, this attack was basically purely reactionary. If I saw it, I would roll to his back, start attacking. When he tried to slam at me, I roll through him, start attacking again, roll through him, start attacking again. Like that. Very simple attack. Very, very simple attack. One of his easier ones. And now we have the other attack I use Ice Armor for, the laser attack. If you've made it to the collector, you know about the librarians that are in the Astrolab. This is the exact same attack, and I am horrible at dodging this. This is the other attack I will always save my Ice Armor for. Yep, you see I put it on. For this, you want to kind of stare up at him, and you want to look for the visual cue of the exclamation point to dodge. You also want to hear an audio cue of him kind of breathing heavily. It's a similar audio cue to what the librarians use. You want to look for that. Also, don't mind the Star Fury stars that are currently stuck inside the collector. It's a weird visual bug. I have no idea what caused it. I think it's caused by him teleporting. Regardless. Yep. And then I pop my Ice Armor so I can get started on that cooldown. Because I don't want to get caught with him with my pants down when he tries to use the laser again. So I immediately pop my Ice Armor. As you can see, I have Instinct of the Master of Arms, so that all of my stars get cooldown reduction, and I have what doesn't kill me, which I believe was giving me 5.1 seconds of cooldown reduction every single time I parried. So usually after I dodged a tough attack, I would tend to pop it and then try to parry as many attacks as possible, as many of his like melee attacks as possible, in order to get that cooldown reduction, which honestly makes it even weirder that Barricade doesn't work, because not what doesn't kill me, Blind Faith gives cooldown reduction when you parry his like stab attacks and when you parry the spin. But yeah, we do this, and now it repeats. It goes back to melee. As you can see, I do the same thing. Don't mind the bitrate staticky stuff. That's awesome. I love that. VLC is better than the base Windows Media Player, but it's not much. As you can see, a ball spawned. That is the only difference. A ball spawns. And then 2 balls will spawn, and I think if you manage to make it to a 4th rotation, it spawns 3, and then it caps at that. Though I might be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. But yes, he spawns 1 ball that goes around the screen. I don't remember the guy's name. It's a guy with an eye patch in Hollow Knight. One of the spirits. It's like that. Yep. So he does stabs. I parry those. Jump up. I actually forgot to use Ice Armor here, but I kind of you could see me kind of panicking there as I desperately try to parry the spin to win while I'm still kind of recovering mentally from missing that. Anyways, as he tries to explain to me how beautiful he is very beautiful, by the way. His name is Fluffy and he loves cuddles. You can see he's going in for his next sippy. 2 out of 3 sippies before the finale. I immediately start attacking because I am trying to get as much damage as possible, and I want stars to be falling on him as soon as the animation of him drinking is done. Now he goes forward, and for the ad phase, now there's only going to be 2 doors that open, but they're going to be stronger enemies. Usually it's high peak enemies. Like it's either high peak enemies or it's stuff like Axe Stars and Inquisitors. And then we do the same thing as we did in the first rotation, go to the right side and wail on them. Unfortunately, since we had a pretty bad melee one, or like not really. Yeah, actually, I would say it's pretty bad. Since they had a pretty bad melee one, we have to go to ranged 2. A lot of times I would be able to rush him down and get to the finale before we reach range 2. But yeah, range 2, we start attacking him. He does the walls. Parry. You can also see for the ranged, there is just always a wall of spikes. I think it retracts if you hit the wall of spikes. But so long as that wall of fire on top of the wall of spikes is up, it does more damage and the spikes don't retract. Yep, does the orbs, we roll through those, and now here's his final sippy before the for the last fight. You can see me kind of celebrating because I got here pretty often towards the end, but it's always exciting. But yeah, now we are in the telescope room. He can do everything from his ranged and his melee attacks. So he has this full arsenal up, and as you can see, he's taking next to no damage. To be fair, he doesn't take much damage anyway, no matter how powerful your build is. Because this entire phase is meant to be him basically being extremely powerful. Yep, that was a very close dodge right there. I am very surprised I dodged that. He does the stabs. Yep. I once again forgot to put on ice armor until after the second one. Yep. You can see I got 6 seconds of cooldown, or like 5 to 6 seconds of cooldown reduction from doing that parry, which is always very good. Jump up, rocks fall, everyone dies. I got very lucky with that ice armor. I got very lucky using that ice armor. I would have gotten hit if my ice armor didn't go off there. That is why having that cooldown reduction is so important if you are relying on something like ice armor for your no hit. Jump up, rocks fall, everyone dies. I didn't actually have ice armor for that, so that was a little bit tight, just because of how weirdly RNG that is. Not really RNG, but it's actually, no, it is RNG. He does his walls. Okay, now he's going for his final drink, but as you can see, there is no shield on him. So the fire is going to hit him, and he's going to drop the panacea out of his hand. Panacea, I don't know what it is. The cure to all disease that he's been drinking. Also, I love bitrate crunching. It's great. But yeah, normally you have to hit him in order to get it out of his hands. But he did it for me anyway. So yeah, now I run up, I grab the panacea, and I manage to drink it. You actually get a much faster drinking animation with this than you normally would. It reduces my melees a little bit, and it refills my flasks. Neither of those are important. What is important, you'll see in a quick second. Look at that damage. That is higher damage than even in the first, than even before the first drink. The panacea gives you absurdly high damage output, comparatively. So yeah, I'm kind of freaking out at this point. Because I did not expect to get this far. Funnily enough, I think during this entire time I was reaching for my microphone to try to unmute it, because I had my microphone muted and my goal was to unmute it when I beat the fight so I could get my reaction. But yeah, so I am like hitting a ton. The wall happens and I'm a little bit worried because my ice armor, I popped my ice armor. No, my ice armor runs out, I think. I don't remember. Regardless, I am vulnerable, but he is loading up one of his easiest attacks, and he's low on HP. Roll through. Roll through. Just rocks fall, everyone dies, but it's too little, too late! And we win. Yes! Yes! You can hear my mic peaking. Yes! Oh, it was like 5 hours! Yes! Oh, my heart is pounding! Oh my god! It still is past Rachel. Yes! White King outfit acquired! Oh, I love my budget hollowed armor. I am proud of myself! Yeah, saves coming or not, I would consider that to be very impressive. I'm happy with that. Yeah! Yes! I still have to know hit Dracula. Yeah, that's the funniest part. Is despite the fact I have Flawless Torch. Flawless Torch doesn't require to no hit the Castlevania DLC bosses or the Collector. So I have the Flawless Torch, but I still haven't no hit Dracula. Last no hit. It's fine. It's fine. Oh my god. This would have been a very climactic final no hit, but to be fair, this no hit was entirely accidental. I got it on camera too. Oh yes. Woo! Yes. Thank you all so much for watching. My name has been Rachel. God, I'm proud of myself. I hope you guys drop a like on this because this took a while to do. Don't look at my run duration, by the way. I'm going to be honest, I was slow this run. That's entirely besides the point. I loved having max plays for basically the entire run. It was awesome, I swear. But yeah. Oh, yes. That's it. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all hopefully soon. I'm trying to get in a stream this weekend. I was going to try to do it. Well, it'd be yesterday now, but unfortunately, internet issues, I guess, or YouTube issues. I don't even know. Whatever. I'm going to try to stream like this weekend or something. So stay tuned. Gonna do some like casual running, and I might even try to go no hit Dracula, which is great because I put Dracula in the thumbnail for that stream. Awesome. See you all.